I love mid video games. There's a unique art form to a fun 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 video game. Like this one. Obviously, these mid games are not as good as masterpieces like Elden Ring, Mass Effect 2, Baldur's Gate 3. But there is something special about those 6 out of 10 bargain bin video games, and I think it's because we expect nothing from them, right? Like maybe you played it on a whim, maybe you just thought, hey, it's cheap, I'll try it out. Mid 6 out of 10 games, they can't let you down like something like Cyberpunk 2077 because you didn't have any expectations for them in the first place. So sometimes, my favorite video game experiences are the games that will never be on anyone's top 10 all-time list, but they share a special place in my heart. So here are the best mid-video games I've ever played. Shall we say the best midio games? No? Okay, and just to make this more interesting, spice things up a bit, the games on this list are not allowed to have over a 74 overall Metascore on Metacritic. Why is 74 the cutoff? Because it's my video and I can do what I want. Let's get it. And I gotta open it up with the most aggressively 6 out of 10 video game ever. This is more, honestly, like probably a 5 out of 10. But this is easily one of my all-time favorite 6 out of 10s. It's Wanted Dead. I love this game. It's my modern Deadly Premonition. This game is incredibly stupid. It's also extremely dull, but ridiculously fun at the same time. And it makes absolutely no freaking sense. I have finished this game twice, and I still don't know what it's about.
He's just following her like a dog. He doesn't speak, and he never makes eye contact.
In Herzog's world, women get pregnant by entering the men's room.
Biologically, it requires more than that.
What? The best part about that is understanding the context of the situation in that cutscene doesn't make the conversation make any more sense. But do you really need to know the story intricacies of a game that has a ramen noodle eating minigame and a protagonist that talks like a dog with peanut butter stuck to the roof of her mouth?
I have some eggs, beans, 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 beans.
Cool! Beans. Throughout the entirety of this game, I am constantly laughing and then asking, what just happened? The minigames are out of place, the characters are all extremely weird and quirky, there's normal video game cutscenes, live action cutscenes, and anime cutscenes. Why? Because the devs just wanted to, I guess? I mean, the loading screen is a spoof of the Super Hot Fire meme. Does anybody even remember what I'm talking about? Like, why does a game that came out in 2023 have its loading screen spoof a meme that peaked in 2011? There's inexplicable scenes like this throughout the game. Pay attention closely here or you'll miss this. No, there's nothing to miss. There's no significance to anything that happens in that scene. It's simply peak cinema. Apart from all the weird, the gameplay is actually a lot of fun. It's a mix of hack and slash and third-person gunplay with actually a pretty high skill ceiling and ridiculously awesome gun fu John Wick-style grapple takedowns, which in my opinion is the best part of the game. And they clearly took this seriously because in a dev video before launch, 110 Industries explained that they included over 50 unique takedown animations that took over 100 hours of motion capture from a group of real stuntmen. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Wanted Dead is in the discussion for best video game takedown animations of all time, and I love me some sweet cinematic video game takedowns. This is basically Lady John Wick the video game with Tommy Wiseau levels of cult classic acting and line delivery. I mean, what more could you possibly want in a game? Is Wanted Dead a good game? No, it's not. But is it a special one that I'll never forget? Yes, absolutely. Now, I want to take it back a little bit for this next one. Back to 2007, my personal all-time favorite video game year. BioShock, Mass Effect, the first Assassin's Creed, Halo 3, Super Mario Galaxy, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Portal, Crysis, God of War 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Guitar Hero 3, Uncharted, Rock Band, Team Fortress 2, Ghost Recon 2 Advanced Warfighter, Stalker, The Witcher, Skate, Ratchet & Clank Future, Tools of Destruction, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, The Darkness. What is that year? It's the best single year in the history of video games, and you cannot convince me otherwise. But in a sea of culturally significant, generation-defining video games, all in one year, we cannot forget one of the best 7 out of 10 video games of all time, Time Shift. In Time Shift, you can pause time, take an enemy soldier's gun straight out of their warm and very much alive fingers, unpause time, and watch them stand there in absolute flabbergastation and squirm before throwing a sticky grenade at their defenseless, soon-to-be hawk-meated corpse. It's perfect. I don't feel like I need to even say anything else about this game apart from, what I just said. It's just a lot of stupid fun. I actually played this game again fairly recently, and the gameplay absolutely holds up. The first-person shooting is solid, and the impact of the weapons and explosions and the hawk meeting that I talked about, it's all just incredibly satisfying. And with your time manipulation powers, you can pause, slow down, and even rewind time, and it's all used so effectively. Pause time is obviously amazing, but it costs a lot more suit energy use, but that's where slow-mo bullet time comes in. It costs much less, and bullet time in video games will never not be fun. And then the rewind time is perfect for fixing mistakes, moving environmental hazards, or rewinding live grenades back into the hands of your enemies. Does it make sense? Nope. Is it awesome? Yup! I swear The Sinking City is one of the most underrated games ever made. It definitely has its issues, but everything about it is so close to greatness, and it's an incredibly unique game. It's got these Lovecraftian Cthulhu vibes, and it's super depressing and dreary, and the main character detective you play as, Charles Reed, looks like the human embodiment of an ashtray. Yet despite all of that, this game world is surprisingly endearing, and I love just living in this world. You actually have to play like a detective that's been sent to figure out the mysteries of this literal sinking city, and the detective work is fantastic. The best part of the game is you actually have to figure this stuff out on your own. You have to pay attention to what NPCs say. You have to piece together clues one by one, and when you finally crack a case, it's extremely satisfying. There's a whole sanity system at play here as well, where the more messed up stuff Charles sees, it starts to mess with his psyche, and you'll actually start hallucinating in the game. The gameplay is definitely the weak link here, but it's passable. Just fun enough to be okay with engaging in the combat so that you can meet the next surprisingly interesting character that might just lead you to that next clue. The story is solid, and I'm super stoked the sequel was announced and hopefully coming out sometime 2026 because this game rules, and it was so close to being fantastic, so I'm excited to see what the dev team cooks up for the second round. The Saboteur is a mid-masterpiece. The little old GTA clone that has some Just Cause type chaos, really basic Assassin's Creed climbing and parkour, and a lot of cheesy Irish one-liners.
We are going to hell, aren't we, Irishman? Maybe. But you'll get there before me.
I love the unique black and white art style choice that's deliberate until you liberate a section of Nazi-occupied Paris, and then the color comes rushing back into the game world. There's nothing really special about this game other than that color thing. It's just a really fun revenge story, and it's kind of a core memory for me. I rented this on a Friday night after school at Blockbuster in 2010, having never heard of it, just like many of you have never heard of Blockbuster. The back of the box art just looked really cool, and I proceeded to play it the entire weekend. The ending of this game also is a core memory for me. I won't spoil it, even though this is a 16-year-old game, but it's just extremely satisfying. I will always love this game, and RIP Pandemic Studios, I'll never forgive EA for shutting you down. Biomutant is one of those games that I feel like I'm the only person on the planet that really likes this game. Do you have one of those, like, where you just know that you love this particular game more than anyone? I put 50 hours into this ambitiously flawed open world title, and I do not regret 1 second of it. The thing that really drives my love for this game is how much raw potential it has. It's got so much going on, and the blueprint for a masterpiece, it's there. It's just a jack of all trades, master of none situation. But even despite its desire to fly too close to the sun, I still had a blast with Biomutant. The combat, while floaty, is just an enjoyable time. Kung fu, gun fu, magical powers, and tons of customization options with your weapons and abilities. The game world is vibrant and beautiful, and while the exploration is pretty bare bones, the biomes are varied and wonderfully crafted. And the things that you can unlock in this game, again, is just pure fun. There's tons of different mounts and vehicles to find and collect. There's a flying suitcase. You can have your own pet whale shark. You can have a finger gun robot. It's actually insane, and you can unlock all of this by just playing the game. No microtransactions or battle passes. Just the pure embodiment of a PS2 style game that doesn't do anything too deep. It just wants you to have fun, and that's why I love this game. Is it lacking for a game that came out in 2021? Yes. I mean, sadly it is, but it's got so much heart. This dev team was clearly passionate about what they created here, and it's got so many creative little ideas that it's impossible for me to not love. I desperately hope we get a Biomutant 2, or just another game from the studio, because their next one could be something really special. Either way, Biomutant rules. I don't care what anyone says. RoboCop RoboCop Rogue City has absolutely no business being as good as it is. Yes, it's a solid 7 out of 10 and absolutely nothing more, but I would never have expected it to be even that good. But it is, and I love it. It knows exactly what it is, and it nails everything it needs to. I don't think it would ever be like physically possible for a RoboCop game to be like some 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 masterpiece, but it's not trying to do that. It's just trying to be a good RoboCop video game with slow, weighty, and extremely violent combat, a surprisingly detailed game world with actual side quests and RoboCop mysteries to solve, hilarious, cheesy 80s one-liners, and did I mention the extremely violent combat? I remember when this game came out, I saw it and I was like, oh shoot, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool, I guess. And then I played it and I was like, wait a second. Why is this actually awesome? I mean, you can snatch a dude off of his motorcycle as he full speed whips past you. You can throw said dude into a group of bad guys and then pick up the motorcycle that you snatched him off of and throw that into the mix as well. I don't know how it's possible to dislike this game. RoboCop Rogue City will not go down as one of the video game greats, but it will go down as the greatest RoboCop video game, and for that, I'm thankful it's here.
We need to wait for the reinforcements!
Reinforcements have arrived.
What do y'all know about Inversion? No? No one? Just me? Alright, Inversion is one of the most overlooked games that has ever existed. The problem with Inversion is not really that it had any specific problems, but rather it's basically just Gears of War with gravity powers. But since when is that a problem? This might have the lowest score on this whole list, sitting at a 53 overall on Metacritic. That is rough, but do not let that fraudulent number deter you. This game is a ton of fun with fantastically meaty gameplay just like Gears of War, but you can do stuff like this. The story is also surprisingly good. It's nothing that'll earn anyone an Oscar, but there's not one but 2 plot twists here, and I wasn't ready for either of them. You can turn entire segments upside down by flipping gravity where you're fighting on the ground, and with the push of a button, you can flip the entire battlefield onto the ceiling. It's wild stuff. It blows my mind that this only has a 53 on Metacritic. It's no 9 out of 10, but it's also not a 5 out of 10. That is criminal. But it came out a year after the end of the Gears trilogy, so I don't think anyone had any desire for a Gears of War clone, and it really hurt this game. But this was developed by Saber Interactive, the same devs that made Space Marine 2, so the gameplay is punchy and it feels great. And again, it's just a fun game. Someone else play it and let me know I'm not lying. Killer is Dead is absolutely ridiculous, and I consistently have no idea what's going on in this game. But when stuff like this is happening, I'm not too concerned. You play as Mondo Zappa, a 35-year-old American executioner who works for the government's Bryan execution firm. He wields a katana and has a cybernetically enhanced left arm that can transform into all kinds of different weapons. Why? I have no idea. But you fight bosses like this. And there's really weird and incredibly inappropriate and out-of-place dating mini-games, and the cutscenes largely make no sense, but they feel like they're saying something profound.
That's right. Railways are a man's passion.
And then the level design, it's varied, the combat is legitimately fantastic, and the game doesn't overstay its welcome. This is just an incredibly solid, over-the-top, really enjoyable action game with an art style that still looks really good 12 years later, and yet a 64 overall still feels like a proper rating. Here's the thing, this is a Suda51 Grasshopper manufacture game, and if you don't know either of those names, you are missing out on pure video game peak. And by peak, I mean incredibly weird and aggressively mid video games that are way more fun than they have any right to be. And if that sounds like it doesn't make any sense, I think that's exactly how Suda wants it. Killer is Dead, No More Heroes, Lollipop Chainsaw, Black Knight Sword, Shadows of the Damned, and Killer 7. I love all of these fever dream video games, and that's basically what Grasshopper makes, games that feel like you're playing a fever dream. There's just something about a game embracing weird that I find weirdly captivating, and all of these games do it so well. They're so odd that it's endearing, like that weird kid at the party that never talks, but then you hang out with them and you're like, oh, holy crap, this kid's awesome. That's what every Suda51 Grasshopper game is, and I love them for it. Listen to me now when I say this, because you're not going to believe me when I say it. Rage 2 is in the conversation for greatest first-person shooter gameplay of any first-person shooter in the history of video games. And no one knows it because the rest of the game is duty. I am telling you, Rage 2's gameplay is amazing, and the weapons are all fantastic. They all have a normal fire mode and then a secondary fire mode, and every one of these guns is awesome and just feels so satisfying. Like, oh my god. Okay, sorry. Yeah, let me just collect myself here. Okay, Rage 2 has incredible gameplay. The problem is, everything else is just not good. The open world is incredibly bland with nothing interesting going on. The story has the exact same problem, completely throwaway with an extremely unsatisfying ending. The characters are quirky but never meaningful, and the quest design is the same thing over and over again. Like I said, the rest of the game is just not good, but the gameplay and abilities that you can work with feel amazing. So, I had a blast with Rage 2, and I don't care who knows it. So do me a favor and watch this minute-long Rage 2 combat montage and try to tell me with a straight face this doesn't look awesome. I mean, come on. Mafia 3 basically suffers from the exact same problems. Only difference here is that the story and characters are actually fantastic. The writing and the acting performances here are great across the board, and the story is engaging all the way through, even if it is just like a basic revenge story. However, this is one of the most mind-numbingly repetitive games I have ever played. But the pure unadulterated revenge is provocative. It gets the people going. And that's it. That's really what carries it through for me. I want Lincoln to get his revenge, so surgically taking down each criminal racket throughout the corrupt city is fun, despite the egregious repetition. This game's soundtrack is also amazing. Rolling up in my blacked out Camaro, jamming Paint It Black by the Stones, and then getting out of the car and going full Punisher mode on everyone in the vicinity is just a plain old good time. Mafia 3 is the best Punisher video game ever made, despite not being called The Punisher, and yes, I know the Volition Punisher game exists.
Shit, grenade!
Let's take it back a little further when I played Matrix The Path of Neo when I was about a 12-year-old little tot. I finished that game and thought, man, that was amazing. That was like a straight up 9 out of 10, dang near masterpiece right there. I was doing wild physics-defying kung fu, hitting Smith with crazy combos. I mean, this is like a 15-piece chicken McNugget we're looking at here. Y'all remember that scene in the empty lot with like 500 agents surrounding you? Same scene from the movies, and when you watched that on the big screen, you were like, bro, this would be amazing to play in a video game. And then they did it. They let you play the scene in the video game, and it was amazing. Blew my little 12-year-old mind. So many amazing moments in this game, and then come to find out that while I'm making this video, this only has a 69 overall on Metacritic? I thought this game was a masterpiece. Is it really not? Is it mid? I mean, I guess it is, but hey, that's okay. It just means that I get to talk about it for this video, so I'll forgive the blasphemy. Another one that I'm upset about that got pretty poor reviews is Alpha Protocol. I freaking love this ridiculously flawed RPG. Here's the thing, it is flawed, so the low review score makes sense. I don't think a 63 overall Metascore is wrong, but the 63 overall Metascore made far too many people miss out on this fantastic RPG. If you love deep decision making that shapes the story and characters, I'm not exaggerating, this might be the deepest decision making RPG ever made. Like, you know how most RPGs that exist will say that decision making matters and it'll shape the game world and it'll change the characters, and if it does, it's like very minimal and it's just not that big of a deal. Not the case with Alpha Protocol. The way your decisions and dialogue choices shape this game world and its characters is staggering. I have played through this game 3 times, and each playthrough was radically different. You and a friend could play through this separately at the same time and have 2 entirely different playthroughs with totally different characters, locations, and plot points. I could play through it and you could play through it, and I could have main characters that I met that you didn't even know existed in this game. It's amazing and extremely impressive, and it sucks because everything else about this game was not great, and that's the unfortunate reality with this flawed masterpiece. The gameplay is rough. It's interesting though, because they make it like a true RPG experience where, say you don't have many skill points allocated to guns, your aim is going to be basically impossible. But then again, even if you do put all of your skill points into hand-to-hand combat, well, the hand-to-hand combat gameplay just isn't very good. If the gameplay and performance issues with this game were good, we would be looking at one of the greatest games ever made with Alpha Protocol. And I wish so badly that Obsidian now would make us a sequel or just a spiritual successor. But what I'm trying to say is, a spy espionage RPG is something that somebody needs to make because the potential is crazy. I think video games are more important than we think they are. At least they are to me, and they always have been. So I want to know, what are the best mid-video games that you have ever played? Let me know in the comments, and follow and subscribe for more mid-video game content just like this.